Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. It is late Christmas night, wrapped up all the family gatherings. I got some stuff I want to talk about regarding USC football. Now, most notably, the buzz regarding who's going to be defensive coordinator in 2025. Now, we're not really sure how things are going to play out with Coach Danton Lynn. Is he going to make the jump to Penn State? Well, if he does, there is such an obvious replacement. And the USC fans been all over it on the message boards as well. I think this is, kind of unarguably an upgrade if this does happen. Now, the comment that I have is that, I got a lot of confidence in Coach Lynn, but if Coach Lynn decides to make the move to Penn State, I got a ton of confidence in Pete Kwiatkowski too. And it feels like he would be the name that Lincoln Riley and USC go with. To me, where it starts here is that, Pete Kwiatkowski did at Texas what I think Lincoln Riley needs done at USC. And that is, when Coach Sark first took over Texas, they're scoring points, right? Texas always scored points, but they were soft on the defensive side of the football. And I think a lot of people had question marks regarding, all right, well, what's Texas going to look like when they move into the SEC? Like, can they play defense at that kind of level? Very similar questions that we're asking about USC transitioning into the Big Ten. I mean, Pete Kwiatkowski has made this Texas defense one of the best in the country. And not only one of the best in the SEC, but the best in the country, right? Has experience out there on the West Coast, has done exactly what USC wants to be done. Let me back up and say what he did at Texas feels like a very similar thing that needs to be done at USC. This makes complete sense if I'm Lincoln Riley and USC. Now, the second part of this conversation is some increased portal chatter. And I'll say this right off the bat. If I'm a USC fan, I am fired up in terms of how things are playing out. What I mean by that is, all right, what are some of the biggest positions that USC needs to address? Wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback. I would argue those three positions are the most talented positions that we currently see in the portal. Look, if you are in need of a wide receiver, linebacker, cornerback, you have some good luck here. Go back to last year, it felt like some of the positions that USC needed to address weren't all that good. Like on the defensive line, it just didn't feel like the crop of guys were all that good. USC settled on Keyshawn Silver. I feel like the position groups USC needs to address, there are difference makers that are currently in the portal, and that's just kind of how the luck of the draw has shooken out for USC. Kind of got unlucky last season. I feel like they're getting really lucky this season. Want to get into some of those names, want to talk about some player retention that we've seen at USC too before we do, and as always, USC fans let it fly, specifically regarding the portal conversation that we're about to have. We got some new names to talk about. We got some player retention to talk about. Let it rip. Appreciate you guys. I hope you all had a phenomenal holiday season. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the last name that I'm waiting on, there's really two names, most notably Elijah Page. We're seeing USC announce all those re-signings. When's Elijah Page going to pop up? We said this right off the rip. He is the most important player for USC to work to retain, because if they get him back, you have a first-round tackle. And that's the conversation you have to have with Elijah Page. Is right now, I think he'll be an NFL draft pick. I'm just not really sure how high, because didn't really stay healthy a ton during his junior year. My conversation regarding Elijah Page is, what does it look like if this kid stays healthy all year long in 2026? That to me is a first-round NFL draft pick. If Elijah Page does decide to leave and go to the NFL, I just don't. There are some players on USC's roster that I think could potentially replace him. You're not replacing Elijah Page in the portal. Those players don't exist. Go look at the tackles that are currently in. There's not a lot of guys that I have a ton of confidence that can play at the Big Ten, especially the way USC wants to play. It feels really big. We'll see if his name pops up. Now, the other name's Hassan Longstreet, not necessarily for 2026, but the future of USC. I mean, he feels like he's going to be the starting quarterback in 2027. If you're Lincoln Riley, you're sitting him down and just pointing up north to Dante Moore, right? Dante Moore made in this day and age an unpopular decision. And that was, hey, instead of chasing chasing playing time at other programs that aren't as good of situations, why not just be patient? There's no better situation than playing for Lincoln Riley if you're a quarterback, right? Not across the country, there's not a better situation. Yes, you want to play in 2026, and I totally get that. You be patient and you give it another year, and then you take over this USC offense in 2027. Like, to me, as an outsider looking in, that's the best situation for Hassan Longstreet. And I think Lincoln Riley probably knows that too. And that's what you're selling Hassan Longstreet. Those are the two last names remaining that you're like, those are the two most important names left on the board for USC to get back in 2026. Portal conversation. It has to start with DeAndre Moore, right? This is a no-brainer, right? St. John Bosco cat. God, I'm just going to flat out say it. It's a little irresponsible. It's nearly midnight out here, Christmas Day. Reminds you of Mekhi Lemon in terms of, look, is he the biggest or fastest wide receiver? No. Is he a guy that has that innate ability to separate? Go look at how the Texas fans are talking about DeAndre Moore. I mean, he was a guy that we expected him to take a step and didn't really take that step because he didn't get a ton of opportunity. Didn't have the quarterback play that we all thought he was going to get. You're looking to replace Mekhi Lemon. And I'm not saying that, hey, DeAndre Moore is going to come in and be a Blitnikoff guy. I think he can be really good, especially in this USC offense. He's from St. John Bosco. This is, to me, this is the guy. Like, if you're USC and you were waiting for that, bona fide wide receiver, one caliber dude, to me, DeAndre Moore's him. We'll see if USC goes on and gets him. Now at backer, there's plenty of options here. And we've already talked about some really good football players. To me, Austin Romaine is the guy I would look at. Now, why Austin? Number one, he's a great football player. For the last 2 years, over 80 run stops the last 2 years at Kansas State. This is a guy that, and I think a lot of USC fans who are listening to this episode understand, y'all follow this team close too, right? The problem with linebacker in 2025 for USC was not we didn't have athletes. Like Eric Gentry and Jaden Walker and Desmond Stevens. Those are like athletic dudes. We did not lack athletic profiles. We lacked between the ears. Like, I'm not totally sure these USC backers had a great understanding of fitting the run and consistently doing it. The lack of consistency was such a problem for USC on defense, specifically at linebacker. Austin Romaine's as consistent as it gets. Like, I don't know if he's the athlete that Desmond Stevens is. Hell of a better linebacker right now. And the thing I love about Austin Romaine is not only does he just inject more consistency and production into this room, which I think this linebacker room needs, he's one of those guys that helps everybody around him. Yeah, there's just not many players that understand the sport better than Austin Romaine. He just finds the football and gets everybody else to find the football too. He's a guy you add and you get really good play from him, but I think you get better play from everybody else around him too. That's rare to say. That's what you say about Austin Romaine. Number two, I love this kid, Robert Woodyard. He's another guy that on a really good Auburn defense that was really good against the run, he led that football team in run stops. And I think there's a little bit more playmaking ability, and he adds a little bit more physicality. I don't know how physical this linebacker room was. It was a fast linebacker room. It was a long linebacker room. Bunch of guys who were 6'2", 6'3", in Eric Gentry's case, 6'6". We weren't great at taking on blocks. We weren't great at getting off blocks. Robert Woodyard can do that. I mean, he's a guy that is going to stack a block, shed a block, and find the ball carrier. Last one, Keaton Thomas from Baylor. I mean, over 105 tackles at Baylor last year, over 30 run stops. I mean, there's these kind of linebackers did not exist last year in the portal. They're all over the place for USC. USC doesn't need to add a ton, right? They got Desmond Stevens back. They got Jaden Walker back. You feel, you have Talanoa Ellie coming in. We need one guy that has some proven production behind him. There's a bunch of those kind of guys available. And quite frankly, same thing at the cornerback spot. One name that's already generating some buzz towards USC, Bo Masco. I mean, 2-year starter at the Big Ten at Rutgers. You look at his numbers. Hey, 42 targets, only gave up 21 catches, 50% completion percentage, 10% missed tackle rate. Not the biggest, but really competitive against the best of the best. I mean, you see some, especially with the addition of Washington and USC and Oregon into this league, you get tested every week in the Big Ten. And Bo Masco, here's the difference between a guy like Bo Masco and a guy like DJ Harvey last year. The problem with DJ Harvey is, hey, jumping up from the Mountain West to covering guys like what Oregon has and what Ohio State has. Man, that's a jump. And it's a jump that DJ Harvey couldn't make. DJ Harvey was really good in the Mountain West, could not crack it in the Big Ten. The benefit of a guy like Bo Masco is, hey, that's a guy that's shown he can do it in the Big Ten. Hey, same thing with AJ Harris. I mean, 6 months ago, before 2025 kicked off, is considered a top 5 cornerback in the country. Did not have a great year at Penn State. And it wasn't a bad year by Penn State. It's not like he lost his starting spot. It just wasn't as good as we thought he was going to be. He can still play. Like, there again, once again with AJ Harris at Penn State in 2024, legitimate sample size of him being a cornerback one. And so I look at it and say, all right, well, at the positions USC's in a good spot. They got quarterback check, running back check, offensive line. If Elijah Page comes back, check. I mean, the positions USC needs to address, there's talent there. And I don't know if we were necessarily saying that 12 months ago. USC does not need to go out and get 20 players. I don't think Chad Bowden is planning on doing that either. I mean, if you go get 10 players like AJ Harris or DeAndre Moore, Robert Woodyard at these positions you need to address, that's really damn good for USC. Good situation. You can go hunt here. You can go hunt. Appreciate you guys rocking with it. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We'll talk to y'all later.